Developer World.
Xperia M2 Aqua. Finally, a waterproof smartphone for everyone. With Sony technology and unique camera applications, you always get the photo or video you want, even underwater. Premium design, ultra slim, waterproof. Get through your business days with a long-lasting battery. And don't worry if you get caught in showers of rain. Xperia M2 Aqua will not let you down. Enjoy ultra-fast 4G entertainment on the large, high-quality display, along with great processor performance. Xperia M2 Aqua is ready for whatever life throws at it.
Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this Xperia M2 with me, and in this video we'll be doing the full in-depth review. And I have been testing this phone for more than 10 days now, and this is a mid-range Android phone by Sony, and in terms of looks I'd say it is a pretty decent and actually a very good looking phone. It sports a 4.8-inch screen, but it's not a 720p HD screen, but still a QHD screen. Coming towards the internals, it sports specs very similar to the Moto G. It's based on the Snapdragon 400 chipset. That's a quad-core processor clocked at 1.2 GHz. Regarding the GPU, it sports an Adreno 305 GPU and RAM is 1 GB. Coming to the camera, the rear-facing camera is 8 megapixel shooter. We also have LED flash, and it can record video up to 1080p. Though the front-facing camera is just a VGA camera, the front-facing camera is not that great. And before I proceed with the review, let me give you a physical overview of this device. On the top, we have this 3.5mm headphone jack, and on this end, this is actually a flap. It's a dual SIM model. In some countries, you also have the single SIM model. And here you can insert both your micro SIMs, SIM 1 and SIM 2. Going further down, we have the power on-off button, and just below that is the volume rocker. And we also get a dedicated button for the camera shutter. We have an opening for a lanyard if you want. And actually here at the bottom houses the speakers. I'll talk about the speakers a bit later. And on this end, we also have one slot. This is for the micro SD card. And you can add a micro SD card. I have added a micro SD card here, but the thing is that you cannot move the apps or games to the micro SD card as of now. We also have the micro USB cable that will use for charging and syncing. Moving towards the back, again we have this finish, which is glossy but a fingerprint magnet. And as you can see, it has N, that is NFC, Sony logo, Xperia. Moving towards the front, again we have the sticker. This can be removed as a dual SIM. As it's a dual SIM phone, it's there, and we have that 4.8-inch screen, which is a QHD screen. That is 540 by 960, and I would say the screen quality is actually pretty good. And Sony has really improved the screen compared to the original Xperia M, which had very bad viewing angles. If you can see, the viewing angles on this device are pretty good, and I'm overall satisfied with the screen. Yeah, I'm a little bit saddened to see that Sony didn't put a 720p HD screen, but in terms of the screen quality that Sony has provided is pretty good. Again, at the bottom, we have the navigation buttons, which are part of the display, like a back, home, and this is the multitasking tray. We also have the Sony quick apps. And regarding the size, here I'm not very happy because it sports just a 4.8-inch screen, but the phone is actually pretty big. And to give you an idea, this is the Nexus 5, which has a 5-inch full HD screen. And if you see, the Nexus 5 is smaller in height compared to this Xperia M2. So definitely it's a pretty big phone for a 4.8-inch screen, and I would say definitely go to a store and handle it. In terms of weight, I would say it is pretty good. I have no problems with the weight distribution, and it is working pretty fine. And let's see the settings now. We also have the quick toggle settings here. You can customize it by going to the settings, and we also have the auto brightness sensor on this device, for example, as you can see. But I did notice that the auto brightness sensor, whenever you keep it on that, it's pretty dull, so I was using it mostly in the manual mode. Let's look at the further settings and the Android version. And if you go to about the phone, and if you look at the Android version, it comes out of the box with the Android version 4.3, that is Jelly Bean. And on this box, it says that this phone is going to get the KitKat update. So hopefully we will get the KitKat update also very soon. Regarding the internal storage, you have just 8 GB of internal storage. Out of that, you just get around 4 odd GB or so. And as I told you, though it has micro SD card slot, but you cannot move the apps to the micro SD card. So storage can be an issue if you are a heavy user. Now coming to the call quality on this device was actually pretty good. I have no problems. We have the standard dialer like this, and let's dial a number, and I'll put it on speaker.
Your current prepaid account balance is ₹0. Validity of your prepaid account will expire on.
The speaker volume is actually pretty decent, but at max volume I notice it crackles a little bit. Again, we don't get any 3G video calling, but using the front facing camera we can make video calls using third-party apps like Skype, etc. Another thing just I wanted to show you that is, let's go to the Wi-Fi. This device surprisingly has dual band support. That means it supports the Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, that's the standard, as well as the 5 gigahertz band. And let me now switch on the web browser and let's do some web browsing. We'll use the Chrome web browser for that. And it's going to our website, that's tech2buzz.com. And as you can see, it opened it fairly quickly. In terms of general responsiveness, as I mentioned even earlier, the phone was pretty responsive, so I don't have any issues with the responsiveness of this device. Let's look at one of the videos. I'll change the orientation also.
Hi there, this is Ranjit from tech2buzz.com, and I have this Sony Xperia M, which is a
This is at max volume. See the viewing angles.
I've already done the unboxing for this phone, so if
Pretty
you want to know
nice.
what comes inside the box, you can check out this video. In this video, we're going to
Let me lower the volume a little bit. Let me go back. So in terms of web browsing, I didn't have any problem, and it's actually pretty responsive. Now coming to one more thing which many of you have asked, this phone does support luckily the USB OTG cable, and you can just directly plug in a USB OTG cable. This is a standard USB OTG cable, and I have a pen drive attached. So let me just connect that, and you just plug in, and as you can see, it glows. And it's giving me Sony select accidentally, and as you can see, USB storage is detected. Now you can use file managers to access this USB drive. Or example, I also have this MX player, which is a third-party video player, and as you can see, I can, let me just go back. This is the USB disk, and I have 2 videos, and we can select and play them back directly from this USB drive using this USB OTG cable. Let me just show you one more thing regarding the volume. I'll keep it at max. At max, the volume is pretty loud, but if you just go one notch down like this, as you can see, it lowers pretty significantly. So the difference between max and 15 and 14 is pretty high. But it was able to play many of the 1080p videos and even 720p videos without any issues. And as I told you, the screen quality is actually pretty good. So in terms of video playback, you'll have a good experience with this device. Let me take out this USB OTG cable. Now regarding gaming also, I tried this phone with quite a few games, and as you can see, it could play a lot of games without any issues, and even some high games like Asphalt 8 without any issues. The only con that I feel is that if you're a heavy user or a person who likes to install a lot of games, the limited internal storage can be a issue. Now coming to the camera on this is an 8 megapixel shooter, and I would say the camera is pretty decent. This is the front facing camera. The front facing camera, I did not like it. It's pretty dull, but the rear facing camera is pretty decent. And I won't go into details about it because I've already made a separate video regarding that. But the camera performance is pretty good. I would say outdoors it does a very good job, but indoors in artificial lighting sometimes it has an issue. You can check out the separate video that I made regarding the camera review for more info. So overall, I would say the rear facing camera, 8 megapixel camera is pretty good, but the front facing camera was not that great. Regarding the battery, it sports a sealed 2300 milliampere battery, and I would say the battery life was pretty decent. Another thing is that Sony did not skimp on sensors. Let's try this multi-touch point, and I tried it earlier and I could register all 10 fingers, so that's pretty nice. As you can see, all 10 fingers. Also the compass apps work great, so with GPS etc you won't have any problems. As you can see, it is able to track without any issues. The multitasking tray is here, and as you can see, so many apps are running. Still the phone was pretty fluid to run, and I would say the phone was pretty fluid to operate in my testing. Yes, I noticed 1 or 2 lags here and there in the 10 days, but most of the part, I would say 99% of the time, this phone was very responsive. And we also have the small apps using which you can do multitasking. You can run something at the bottom and one more app over here, so that support is also there. And as you can see, general in the UI also, you will hardly notice any lag. The phone is actually pretty fluid to operate, and this Sony skin does provide a lot of functionality. And regarding music playback, it has that Walkman, and I would say the music playback was very good. As you can see again, one place I noticed a little bit of con is that when I was heavily using this phone, and gaming or even using the camera, this portion can get actually pretty warm to a little bit hot while gaming. So that can be a concern for some people. Now let's talk about the pricing of this device in India. The price quoted on the box is 21,990, but I have seen this phone in local stores and online stores like Flipkart, etc. For around 20,500 or so. And I do feel that Sony has priced this phone a little bit higher. So now it's up to you to decide if the pricing of that 20-odd thousand is okay for you or not. For example, we also have some other devices like the LG L90, etc., which are very similar to this device. So you need to decide if the pricing is okay for you. Some other cons, as I mentioned, are the limited internal storage, which can be an issue for power users. And also the phone tends to get heated a little bit when you do heavy tasks like gaming, etc. Apart from this, in the general performance, the phone performed brilliantly, and also in the looks, the phone looks pretty decent. So I hope that you found this video review helpful. I've also made some other videos on the Sony Xperia M2, like the gaming review, the camera review, etc., benchmarks. So you can check out those videos for more info. Links for those videos will be in the YouTube show notes. Thank you for watching this video. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda bersama saya Mastura dalam Mingguan Amans, dan mari kita lihat perkembangan dalam dan luar negara yang menarik dalam arena teknologi sepanjang minggu ini. Minggu ini dimulakan dengan Xiaomi yang memperkenalkan MIUI 6 yang menampilkan kemas kini pada rekaan antarmuka, termasuk dari segi penggunaan ikon dan keseluruhan sistem operasi. Beberapa fungsi baru turut hadir selain turut menawarkan pengoptimasian pada bahagian bateri dan pemprosesan. Kemas kini MIUI 6 bakal hadir untuk Xiaomi Mi 3 dan Mi 4 pada bulan Oktober dan diikuti dengan peranti Xiaomi yang lain pada tahun hadapan. Dalam arena peranti pula, satu lagi perkara yang menarik perhatian ramai pada minggu ini adalah pengenalan HTC Butterfly 2 oleh HTC. HTC Butterfly 2 hadir dengan skrin bersaiz 5 inci dan membawakan sokongan duo kamera lebih kurang sama seperti HTC One M8. Peranti ini juga menyertakan sokongan kalis air dan menariknya tidak menyertakan sebarang penutup seperti Xperia Z atau Galaxy S5. HTC Butterfly 2 dijangka akan dipasarkan di Malaysia dalam sebulan 2 lagi. HTC Butterfly 2 dilihat lebih disasarkan untuk pengguna Asia, dan untuk pasaran negara barat, pihak HTC memperkenalkan HTC One M8 versi Windows, di mana ia mengekalkan reka bentuk dan spesifikasi One M8 tetapi menjalankan Windows Phone 8.1. Ia turut menyertakan fungsi seperti blink fit dan dual kamera. Selain daripada HTC, pihak Sony tidak ketinggalan dan telah memperkenalkan sebuah telefon pintar baru yang mana merupakan variasi daripada Xperia M2 tetapi membawakan sokongan kalis air. Dikenali sebagai Xperia M2 Aqua, ia dijangka akan hadir ke pasaran dalam tempoh beberapa bulan lagi. Samsung seperti biasa tidak ketinggalan dalam memperkenalkan peranti baru mereka pada minggu ini, di mana mereka hadir dengan sebuah speaker baru dinamakan Level Mini Box, selain turut mengumumkan sebuah tablet baru Galaxy Tab 4 Nook yang khusus untuk pembacaan buku dan majalah digital. Dalam dunia aplikasi pula, beberapa aplikasi baru dan kemas kini diperkenalkan. Salah satu aplikasi baru yang diperkenalkan pada minggu ini ialah Swingcopter daripada pembangun Flappy Bird. Membawakan bentuk permainan yang lebih kurang sama, Swingcopter dilihat lebih mempunyai peminat dan pembenci tersendiri. Swingcopter sedia untuk dimuat turun pada iOS dan Android secara percuma hari ini. Selain Swingcopter, Google pula pada minggu ini telah menerbitkan sebuah lagi fungsi pada Android untuk pengguna iOS, iaitu Photosphere. Melaluinya, ia membolehkan pengguna merakam gambar 360 darjah dan berkongsi dengan yang lain. Microsoft juga tidak ketinggalan dan telah menerbitkan kemas kini untuk Android, membawakan sokongan OneNote yang dioptimasikan untuk tablet. Dalam arena tempatan pula, pihak Yes telah mengemas kini perkhidmatan web mereka, iaitu Yes Live Web. Yes Live Web membawakan kemas kini pada reka bentuk dan menawarkan sokongan panggilan suara dalam bentuk HD. Selain Yes, Maxis pula pada minggu ini telah mengemas kini penawaran perayaan mereka, di mana mereka membawakan data room sewa pada harga RM10 sehari di lebih kurang 16 buah negara. Jadi itu saja rangkuman ringkas daripada saya di Amans. Jangan lupa saksikan Amans pada minggu akan datang. Saya Mastura. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Yosh.